It would take about 304 hours for you to personally go through every data broker site and remove or ask for a takedown request to get your information off the internet. That's according to Incogni though, a service that offers to bring that time down to almost zero by opting in for an automated process instead. Now, do I totally trust Incogni's claim of 304 hours? I would say that I'm a little skeptical, and I do believe there's a little bit of a marketing spin here, but I have to agree that it does take a lot of time. I've done this personally, and it takes a bit. But you definitely want to remove your personal information off the internet. It reduces the chances of you getting spam, scams, and fraud, which I believe is highly important. Incogni definitely helps with that. But there are also a ton of other service sites out there offering this data broker removal service. I know everybody by now has a ton of questions like, how does Incogni stack up to the competition? How much data does it remove from the internet? And of course, how much time does it save and how much does it cost? Well, stay tuned and we'll get those questions answered for you. Plus, for everybody out there, check out the details in the description below for a discount code. Saves you guys money and it helps out the channel at no cost to you, which I always appreciate. Now, onto the review. Incogni is both cheaper and a lot more straightforward than the other competitors on the market. They do just have two plans, an individual plan that covers just one person, or a friends and family plan that covers up to 4 people. The individual plan will cost about $15 a month or $90 for the entire year. The friends and family plan will cost about $33 a month or $198 a year. Now, once you made the heavy decision of what plan you want to go with, we're on to the next step, which is putting your information in. You're going to start with your full name, your address, your phone number, and date of birth, and Incogni will start working for you. Later on, you will have the option to add more information so that it can do a broader search for you, like alternate phone numbers that might be tied to you, alternate addresses or previous addresses, and you can add multiple email addresses. That way it can expand its search. Now, this extra information is optional, but as always, I do recommend the expanded search. That way you can get as much of your information off these data broker sites as possible. You must also give Incogni limited power of attorney. It's just so that Incogni can act as your representative and make these requests for you. The whole sign-up process takes about 5 minutes and it couldn't be easier. Incogni is pretty straightforward. This is the part where I wish it would be a little more expansive in the information you can put in. It's really simple, but that's what makes it easy and saves so much time. After you're done signing up, you get taken to the dashboard, which is the personal space where it shows you where it is in the process. After about 10 minutes, it was starting to find all this information on me, and by the 10-minute mark, it had already sent out 84 takedown requests on my behalf, which that's pretty great. After a few more minutes, about 34 of those takedown requests were completed, which, according to their calculator, saved me about 25 hours at that point. At this point, Incogni also submitted a request to about 17 different data broker sites and requested to put me on their inclusion list or suppression list, which had them agree to never re-harvest my information again, which I would say is on the rarer side, but very welcomed. All these numbers should go up over time, and while it's impressive to see the speed and the quantity of these numbers, it's also important for me to explain what makes Incogni a little bit different than other data broker removal services. Every service boasts about the number of sites or places that it can take down your information from. Some of these include public databases or search sites where anybody can enter your name or address and find what information comes up about you. The other thing that might be included is private databases, which usually marketing or retail services take advantage of this. Most data broker removal services, they focus on the public side of things, but I would say that Incogni actually does the opposite. Currently, it'll remove your information from about 171 database sites, and it does twice as many private database as public database sites. What does that mean for you? Well, since Incogni puts such an emphasis on private databases, you might actually see quite a bit of decline on spam calls, emails, or snail mails, which I always appreciate. However, since Incogni will only remove you from about a dozen public database sites, you might still find yourself pretty exposed online. Data brokers legally have about 45 days to actually complete and take down your information. Incogni will regularly scan for your information, submit takedown requests, and it'll post when the data broker actually complied with the request and took down your information, or when your information can no longer be found. The other neat thing is that you do get a progress report monthly emailed to you to show you all the process and progress that Incogni has made. Several hours after signing up, the progress so far had been about 57 takedowns had been completed, and about 67 more were in progress of being requested and approved. The process was very simple and straightforward, which was nice, but a little something more in depth, like I had previously mentioned, would have been welcomed as well. For example, Incogni tells you what sites your information was on, but it doesn't exactly go through the process of telling you what information those sites specifically held, which I find that it's actually very nice to know what information is contained within those sites. But again, Incogni didn't have that. Incogni also doesn't make it as easy as competitors like Optary to submit your own takedown requests. With Incogni, you can reference about 85 opt-out guides, but they still don't make it as easy as other competitors who put it on their dashboards, so you can make the DIY takedown process as painless as possible. Again, Incogni doesn't offer this custom removal request, and while it is a big difference between other services, I will say that most people don't use this service at all. With customer service, I will say you're pretty much on your own with this. Incogni does have a help center that includes expansive FAQs, guides, and walkthroughs, but that's where it ends. You don't have the option to chat or call anyone, so you do have to submit everything through email. And I did send an email and it didn't get a response within a few hours. This would have been handled a lot quicker with a call. Incogni does offer less than its competitors, like Optary and DeleteMe, in how many sites it covers, how many services it offers, and how much information it actually reveals. But Incogni only costs about $90, which is way less than its competitors, and a rare thing is it allows you to pay monthly, which is nice. Incogni may not be the most extensive data broker removal service on the market, but it's simple, straightforward, and easy to use, which is a really good starting point for almost anyone. If you want to shrink your online exposure as small as possible, I would recommend adding something like Optary or DeleteMe on top of having Incogni as well. And again, don't forget, check out the discount code in the description below, and we'll see you on the next one.